Hey, I know we're still talking a lot of football, but the Alabama men's basketball team is off to the kind of start they hope to get off to. They took down Maryland, Wichita State, and Purdue, three pretty good clubs to win the Puerto Rico tip-off tournament. Alabama's currently 5-0. They're number 13 in both polls this week, and they host Alabama A&M tomorrow night at 7, then have a big game on Sunday night at 8:30 against Virginia Commonwealth. Anthony Grant's team, though, looking good so far. All right, Rodney, you and I sat in the press box last year and watched the Iron Bowl. Both of us looked at each other when it was 21-0, soon to be 24-0, and Alabama could do no wrong. And then we said, hey, it isn't over yet. Auburn got it to 24-7 by the half. They came out in the third quarter on a 2nd and 12, threw a ball up on a one-receiver route. Mark Barron, we later found out, had a torn pectoral muscle, could not knock the ball down, could not make the tackle, could not get the interception. It turned into a long touchdown. The rest is history. They go on to win it 28-27. Well, after the game, Tide players came up with the motto, never again. Mm-hmm. So this is a chance to prove that, if it's going to be never again, it certainly can't happen this Saturday. They got to find a way to win. Certainly, they're a motivated football team based on what happened last year.
Yeah, and Gary, not only that, but look at all that they have to play for this year. I mean, there's certainly a lot to play for, an opportunity to play for a national championship. All this riding in Auburn last year, the way they came into Bryant-Denny Stadium and basically a second half of humiliation. And it's been a year of humiliation for Alabama. Not only the players, but the fans and everyone associated with Alabama football. There's a play that turned the game around, in my opinion, last year.
Yeah, a fumble that goes 20 yards and never went out of bounds right on the sideline. It was an amazing game. As we said, for the first 20 minutes or so of that football game, you thought Alabama might name the score. But give Auburn credit. Against long odds, they came back and won at Bryant-Denny. Now Alabama looks for the payback this season at Jordan-Hare. All right, phone calls are lining up. First up tonight, our buddy Joseph in Tuscaloosa. Joseph, what's up, my man?
Gary Rodney, what's going on with you?
Doing well.
Yeah, but now I might ask you this, though. Now, I understand I'm not really, contributing about the performance with Georgia Southern, but how is Alabama preparing for Auburn? Because Gene Chisholm, and Auburn Tigers, then had some time off class this whole week. And so, all they focus is on Alabama. So my question, how hard is Alabama preparing for Auburn?
All right, we're looking at practice video from today. They were forced inside. Some good news there. Demetrius Hart back at practice. But they're practicing and preparing as hard as they can, Joseph. I mean, that's both teams are. I mean, whoever loses the game won't be able to use preparation as an excuse. The coaching staffs will work harder than they've worked all year to get their football teams ready to play on both sides.
Well, no doubt. Hey, Joseph, we just talked about it. Think about back to last year, 28-27 in Bryant-Denny Stadium, the humiliation of the past year, the slogan "Never Again." And with the opportunities that are still sitting out there, that Alabama is highly motivated going into this game. This game could make, their season, create other opportunities for them, or it could break the season. So, again, Alabama's well aware of what's out in front of them, and this game's extremely important, and Alabama's preparing as if it's extremely important.
Yeah, for this senior class, think about it. You get a chance to go 3-1 against Auburn. You get a chance potentially to win a second national championship. This would be victory number 47 in your career. It's a big, big game, no doubt about it. Thanks for the phone call. Let's go to Bessemer and talk to our buddy John. John, what's going on?
Man.
Hey, John.
Roll Tide, man.
All right, bro.
Hey, man, I just want to know, is Richards going to come back next year?
Well, nobody knows yet. He's certainly not bound to make any kind of announcement on that right now. I've heard him say he's going to look at all his opportunities, as you would expect him to do so, make the best decision for him and his family. Remember, he's got 2 little girls. So he's going to do whatever he thinks is best. He'll meet with Coach Saban. They'll talk about it. My guess is, with all that's out there for him potentially in the NFL, my feeling is he'll probably go pro. I don't see where coming back for next year would help him, but that's his decision, not mine.
I think there's 2 chances he'll come back: slim and none.
Oh, there you go. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to be back with more of your phone calls and emails. Stay with us. You're watching TITV.
They have to have enough discipline to know that, they got a game coming. It means something to them. They got to make good choices and decisions about what they do, whether they're sitting eating in my house or not. I know Cody came to my house a couple years ago for Thanksgiving, and, he sat and just stared at the coconut cream pie, And I said, you can have a piece. It's Thanksgiving. He said, no, Coach, I'm not going to do it. I'm staying on my diet. So I don't know what happened when I left the room, but he was at least good when I was watching him.
I'm glad the game's back on a Saturday, because if the players eat too much on Thursday, they got a day to kind of get it out of their system. They don't have to turn right back around and play on Friday the way they had the last couple of years.
Yeah, they're young, Gary.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't affect them.
Yeah, all right. Well, everybody's going to, I think, take a break from their diets on Thursday, that's for sure. Unfortunately, I've taken a break from mine. A little too early. All right, let's go back to the phones and talk with LD in center. LD, what's going on, my man?
Not much. I just want to give you a scenario.
All right. Why not?
If LSU and Arkansas play real close, and Alabama and Auburn play close, and say Alabama has to come back in the second half and win the game, and LSU Arkansas loses to Alabama.
LSU has to win. Arkansas has to win the game. The scenario you're laying out. You're wondering if Arkansas could jump Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible, but I doubt it very seriously. If Arkansas were to win a game against LSU, I still think Alabama will be ahead of one of those teams. I don't think both of them would jump Alabama, and I think Alabama would stay in front of Arkansas based on the fact that they blew them out of Bryant Stadium.
I heard a scenario the other day, Gary, on a Birmingham radio station talking about how in 1983 Auburn got jumped by Miami from 5-1 when Auburn was third. You remember that?
Sugar Bowl, right.
And let me tell you, there's a big difference. First of all, Auburn didn't beat Nebraska or Miami that year by 24 points like Alabama has beaten Arkansas. That was conveniently left out, okay? And at the same time, Auburn's only loss that year was a 42-7 drubbing at the hands of Texas at home. Alabama tied LSU in regulation and went to overtime, lost by a field goal. Totally different scenario than the one that was presented there.
So in other words, LD, if Alabama beats Auburn, we feel good that they're going to be in either the first or second spot in the BCS. Let's go to Jasper and talk to Jimmy. Jimmy, what's going on?
I'm trying to find out what stands for D Hart.
All right, Jimmy, he's back at practice today in a white jersey. In fact, you see it, Lacey, right there. You're about to see Hart. Here he comes right there, number 1. So he's back working with the team, and it looks like he has just about totally come back from that knee injury. Now, here's the deal. I don't see them playing him. I don't know why in the world you would play him this late in the season and cost him his red shirt.
Oh, absolutely not, Gary, and certainly, look forward to him in the future, though.
But he is back with the team, and that's good news. Okay, we got to take the time out. We're going to be back with more. Coming up, it was tougher than expected last weekend, but the Tide did get it done against Georgia Southern and moved to 10-1 on the year, and so did Rodney and I in our picks. How do we think the Iron Bowl will play out? We'll tell you next. Plus, we'll have a special guest that'll pick the game as well. Stay with us. You're watching Tide Insider TV. All right, we're going to make our picks in just a moment on the Iron Bowl. First, though, we want to introduce a guest picker. Back on September the 29th, there was a big fundraiser at the Zone in Bryant-Denny Stadium, Tailgating with the Stars. One of the gift items was a night with Tide Insider TV, silent auction item. You had a chance to bid on the item, and you get to come in and watch the show live and then go to dinner with Rodney and I. This week it's the Pottery Grill, and also get an appearance. And Andre Taylor and his beautiful wife Rachel are here. And Andre, you're with us. Appreciate you bidding on it.
Absolutely.
All right, now we want your Iron Bowl pick.
All right, well, Auburn's given up about 406 yards of, a game, and I think Alabama's, on a roll here. They're going to be motivated. Auburn may even strike first. They may strike second, but in the end, I think 38-14 Alabama.
So survive the early run and watch the Tide roll. All right, 38-14 is what Andre says. Rodney, what do you say?
Well, I tell you what, Gary, that'll be an impressive enough win. Nobody can dispute Alabama's deserving playing for the national championship, that to happen. But again, the game's played at Auburn. A lot of funny things happen down there, Gary. We've seen it through the years, but I think Alabama's just going to be a little bit better than Auburn this year, 27-13.
And I won't waste a lot of time. I think Auburn's going to play hard. I think they're going to play unbelievably hard. But I think Alabama's better. And I think in the end, that will make the difference. I like Alabama to win this one in the end by a comfortable margin, 31-13. I like the Crimson Tide. So we're all in agreement here. We like Alabama, but you know what? That's why they play the game, and we'll find out on Saturday at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Of course, we'll get your coverage started bright and early at 8 a.m. with Crimson Tide kickoff. I'll be here in the studio. John Huddleston will be live at Auburn. Then that night, Sports Saturday at 10:15, we'll have all of your Auburn-Alabama recap. All right, that's going to do it for the program. Our thanks to Andre Taylor and his wife Rachel for coming in. Thanks to the Pottery Grill. That's where we're headed for dinner. Join us over there about 7:15. Don't forget, if you missed any of tonight's show, you can find it on our website, WVUHTV.com. Plus, we'll have a replay tonight at 10:35. So for Rodney Orr, Andre Taylor, and the rest of our staff, I'm Gary Harris. Thanks for watching Titv. We'll see you again next week. And don't forget, a special presentation. WVUA presents Faces of the Storm. That's next. Stay with us.